Thank you. With that divine blessings, we'll start the proceedings for the day. Would like to invite Chairman Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe to give the chief guest address and the launch address. I know his curiosity 6 months back in a conversation with Mr. Arun Jain and others brought us to where we are today. Right, one look at the center, he said, I'm very curious. Can you show me right now virtually immediately? That was his level of curiosity. So we had to do a jugaad to show him the center and all of that live virtually. Sir, we really appreciate that interest and the curiosity, and I could see that energy and curiosity in the entire team here today. So welcome you to address and set the expectations. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning. Sabhi ko pranam, namaskar, vanakkam. I think this is a very exciting day for our AICTE officers going out to a far off place and being part of the Design the Thinking workshop done by Design Thinking School, which was introduced to me by Dr. Anand Deshpande, as said about 5-6 months ago. There was an email which I received, and then with Dr. Ashok Korwar, Arun, Jain, Dr. Ambu, Jayashree Ranga, we had a meeting online. And at that point in time itself, I said, you say so many things, but I want to see the physical infrastructure that you possess, the kind of course that you are running. And immediately online, they arranged this particular show for us. And that was so exciting by seeing the pictures, by seeing the walls, the way they are designed. The design thinking gets embedded even without teaching anything. And that is why I said our people must get first-hand exposure, and we started working on a date. And always it's very difficult for an organization like AICTE with so many meetings continuously being held, all our officers being busy with something or the other, to zero in on a particular date, and which is convenient to the School of Design Thinking and us. And that's why finally this date came. And still, unfortunately, three of the top guys from AICTE, whether it is myself, the Vice Chairman, Dr. Punia, and also Member Secretary, Dr. Raju, could not make it because I am in Dharmashala, they are in Delhi, there is a yoga workshop which is going to be held and ministry is going to come. So I think this is part of the life. But nevertheless, design thinking as a course has been introduced in engineering curriculum for all the students in the very first year in our model curriculum. Many technical universities have adopted it. But having got a course, actually, how do you deal with that? That is a very interesting question. And unless our officers themselves have first-hand exposure, experiential learning on that, we will not be able to deliberate that in the discussions of the committee meetings, training of the faculty members. This is only a starting point. School of Design Thinking should be now ready for receiving many hundreds and thousands of faculty members into their operations there and then start training them, because unless faculty are trained in that, they will not be able to deal with that in the classrooms. And so this workshop assumes a great significance. But there's another significance, because design thinking is not for just engineering or engineering curriculum or problem solving. Design thinking is required every day in our lives, be it starting from the brushing of our teeth by using toothbrush to going to bed. And therefore, our life is continuously revolving around some kind of design. And if that design is not good, the suffering that we undertake, the usage is not effective, efficiency is reduced less. And that's why design thinking and innovation, they are somewhat the brothers, or what you can say, going hand in hand, two sides of the coin. And therefore, when we are driving innovation through our new national education policy, design thinking becomes a basic element. We have introduced also design thinking course for our students in the schools, and therefore design thinking MOOC course is being prepared by Ravi Povaiya from IIT Bombay. We want help from even School of Design Thinking. We will create a course which is possible to be dealt with by staying at home. People can take this course. And for driving this whole initiative, whether it is Madam Mamata, Dr. Saxena, Dr. Soni, they were all associated, Dr. Ramesh Unnikrishnan, all of them are also there, and they were part of this whole thinking process that we must have it. Now I come to these bureaus. Planning bureau, of course, curriculum design, they do it, and therefore design thinking is important, not only in engineering, but architecture, pharmacy courses, in management courses, in hotel management. And if you go to hotel, thinking was not there, how shabby it looks, otherwise how eloquent it looks, that's all very easily possible to be seen. And so the Bureau P and AP has great relevance. The approval bureau, whatever we are approving, the manner in which we design our approval process handbook, the thinking process that has gone in has design content, and therefore that bureau also has to take a key from out of that. We have several initiatives from research or innovation support systems. We fund them, and how we have to create a structure where design thinking is embedded in the operation of these bureaus. So also, Mamata ji, we are doing huge number of Atal Academy programs. In this also, how from a 1 week program to 2 weeks program, which we have done recently for emerging areas of technology. There is, whether we have learned design thinking in principle or not, we have used it. But now if you know the theoretical aspects, some of the practical aspects, and how we link them together, I think our effectiveness in dealing with all this will become even better than what we are doing today. And that's why this workshop assumes great significance, importance, great learning for all of you. And after coming back, please do share with us what all you learned. I have seen while going, before going rather, there were some sort of questions were asked, and you were asked to answer them. Based on that, a lot of discussions, deliberations will happen, churning action will happen. And today we are in the Amrut Mahotsav Kal. Amrut will come out of that, that is a pleasure of having our people there. Let us enjoy that Amrut. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Anilji, for setting the stage for design thinking at the national level. I think it's a need of the hour that you drive this agenda at engineering college, because this was my personal dream since 2007, that design thinking. The difference in America, if you look at it also, there's a West Coast and there's the East Coast. The companies in the West Coast are very different from companies from the East Coast. The management is about efficiency and optimization, while design thinking is about opportunities and expansion of the thinking process. And that's how the West Coast companies are doing great in 21st century, while East Coast company, New York companies are struggling to remain there. And that's where, when I observed in 2007, I said that's the way companies have to look at it for them. But this has to be introduced early enough in a first year of the course, when we shape their thinking process for what they look at it, how they look at the problem statement, how do they look at the engineering, not as a content, but as a outcome which is emerging from there. And I'm really happy to see that you have introduced this course, as a first year course itself in technical education, and going to the school is a next step, which we need to look at it, how simplify we can do for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th students, so that they also start questioning the way things are being taught and run over there. We applied this in our software product business. Today, you must have seen on the ground floor that we are rated #1 into global products in retail banking, in corporate banking, in insurtech. So 6 areas we are #1 globally over Europe and Americas. There are product companies which are sitting there, which is there from last 30 years, 40 years. And in the last 10 years, if Intellect can take head on with those companies, and we can start selling our licenses from India. Our licenses based income is more than 1,000 crore last year. Only on licenses what we sold. And that was a dream few years back. An Indian company can sell licenses of software rather than buying the licenses from Microsoft or Oracle to Indian company. But I think design thinking has that all the possibilities. So we'll share some examples today. Since you have to leave, Anilji, I'll just keep it short. And I feel delighted that on weekend, all the office of AICTE are so committed to come on weekend to a different city and having this workshop. Very rarely I would see that 25 officers of a particular institution is willing to commit. It's all because of your leadership, Mamtaji leadership, all the other officers' leadership who could be able to spend that weekend over here. I want to assure you that from our side, we'll have full commitment to make your weekend enjoyable of learning. It may not be enjoyable of anything else, but for learning, definitely it will be enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Very good morning to all of you. All my worthy colleagues are very distinguished, respected, and visionary chairman who addressed us a while ago. Arun Jain ji, Anbu ji, and my exceptionally cooperative, worthy colleagues, whom I feel absolutely blessed to be in company with. For me, I think, I really hardly know anything about design thinking, but I have interpreted this word as designing the thinking. So, if you really take it every word separately, it means designing our thinking, boundaryless thinking, unstructured thinking, a state of mind, a psychological leaning, an attitude where we can address every issue. Maybe you know how to structure that unstructured thinking. We are here to learn from all of you. And I just can't tell you that how much gratitude I have for the academic governance of AICTE to understand that the need that we all need to be groomed for taking ahead in life, to be progressive in terms of our intellect, to be progressive in terms as human being and even as professionals. And then, not, I think words would not do any justice if I say thank you to Arun ji and Anbu ji for taking care of everything. Such a coveted course it is, such an expensive learning it is, and it is absolutely free of cost to each one of us. So I think when we go back after these 2 days, and in fact, let me tell you, for the first time after so many years, I left my college in 95, that I'm feeling so charged up in the company of, it's like coming for a learning picnic. Each one of them have I'm sure my hemoglobin is a little up. I'm so happy, and their smiling, radiating faces are speaking for themselves. Each one of them from here till there. And thank you so much from the core of not my heart, each one sitting here from the core of their heart for making this very special for us. Thank you, Chairman Sir, for allowing us this opportunity. And we are missing all the colleagues who could not join for any of their commitments, prior commitments. My absolutely amazing Atal team, Girdhari ji and Dr. Dinesh, I would have not done it without them, and all others, Ramesh ji, and I mean, I can go on taking their names, Soni ji, Neeraj Saxena ji. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Dr. Jain, Dr. Ratniwal, for being here. And now let us start designing the thinking. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Anil ji. So now have a good flight back to Delhi, and we'll look forward to seeing you when you have some time to come down to Chennai.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Anil ji. So we will end the inaugural address session now, and we will start with the proceedings for the rest of the day. So I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Jain. As you heard, he is, of course, the founder of School of Design Thinking as well, but actually the founder of this thinking process, I should say, right, where he has brought in and merged the Western philosophy to the Eastern thinking process. And that's where we have found a lot of benefit and impact as well. So I'll hand it over to Arun. Yes, sir. Yeah. So if we could stand up, if I could request you all to, you just wherever you are seated, if you could just stand up. Yeah. Okay. Full circle. Okay.